Hi, I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to do an origami crane. I got this paper at Daiso, Japanese store, and it's the foil shiny paper. So I'm just gonna do a tutorial on how to do this. My camera set up. Up and see what colors they have. Daiso is a great place to get origami paper, very inexpensive. And check out those colors. They're gorgeous. I like the blue. Okay, well, let's go with the blue. So I think that will show up nicely on the camera. Okay. First and foremost, when you make anything origami, you want to have a nice square piece of paper, very symmetrical. And so you can do it with anything. I've made cranes all the time. You know, when I'm bored and stuff, I've made small ones, huge ones, ones out of gum wrappers. I made this one out of a small piece, a mini origami paper. And there are two kinds that you can make. One that flies, one that doesn't fly. I always make the one that doesn't fly. Oops, I have two pieces of paper. So, here's your piece of paper. The first step you want to do is hold it in front of you as a diagonal, like a diamond. And you want to fold it top to bottom, bottom to top, whatever way you like, whatever direction that you were used to going in. And of course you want to try to get it as evenly as possible. Now when you're making the paper, the crane, you always want to make every crease very, very tight. Want to crease it very nicely because all the folds matter, all the folds make the bird. So you just make it really nice. So, okay, you have your triangle now. Now you want to fold that triangle right over to make another triangle. A lot of people when they're first starting out do this will probably keep the piece of paper on the desk or the table and do it. But I've been doing it so much that a lot of times I'll just hold it in my hands and do all the folds. Again, just really crease it. So now you should have, let me show you that one more time. You should have your diamond in front of you, fold it, big triangle, fold it over, another small triangle. Now, you want to turn it over so that the bottom part of the triangle is facing you. And you'll see that it opens up and that there are two flaps right here and then right there. And this flap, you want to put your hand inside of the flap, your fingers in there, and then you want to flatten it so that it becomes a square. This part is very important, as I said, to make all creases, but this part's very important because this is your base for the whole crane. So here we folded that down and we have a square. Now keep that in front of you with that triangle at the bottom and flip it over, keeping the triangle bottom there. Now you're going to lift the other triangle up Same thing, stick your finger inside. Make sure it's nice and flat. You might have to pinch it here in order to get it to go very nice and flat. You might have to turn the paper around too, because you just really want to be precise with this. I'll show you what I'm doing inside. I'm just making it flat, trying to get the two lines to line up as closely as possible, and then I'm gonna smash it down carefully. Again, it doesn't always work out perfectly. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Like, see, my crease is way off there. Things can be adjusted at times. It's always okay to undo it and fix it, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to confuse you. Bear with me, you're probably one step ahead of me. Okay, so you now have a diamond. Doesn't matter what side you have it on, but you have a diamond. And the diamond is open at the bottom. You want the open part facing you. Now, you see a line down the middle of the diamond. This line is important. It will be your guide. You want to lift one of these flaps, and you're going to fold until you reach the middle of that line. Crease it flat down. So let me see if I can turn that around and do it so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this side, go into the middle, and crease it down. So you're getting to be what looks like a kite shape. Paper ripped a little bit, but that's okay. So see what I did here? I'll show you one more time. This is your diamond. I folded one flap here and one flap here into the middle. Now, you guessed it, I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. One flap into the middle. Use that line as your guide. Crease very nicely. The other flap into the middle, using the line as your guide to meet the other flap you just folded in, and crease. I'm not too happy about how that edge is, but that might just because I'm working with foil paper and it folds too easily down there. I think that's true because I've worked with the foil of gum wrappers, and that tends to happen. Okay, so this is what you have. You have your diamond shape on both sides. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. A very important fold will help you in this. It's called the mountain fold. It is a fold that makes it easier to do another fold. So this looks like a mountain here, the top. Remember, you still have the part that you folded is right here, so that's at the top. You're going to fold this one way, just down toward you. Then you're going to turn it over, fold it the other way. We're just kind of loosening up the paper so it's easier to make another fold in a moment. So, see, it's just kind of nice and loose here. Here's a tricky part. You're going to open your two flaps that you've just done, and then you're going to open the whole thing, and that crease that you just made, you want to keep your fingers right there because you're going to lift your paper up. And as you lift, you're going to keep flattening it out. This is very difficult. I'll try to show it from the other angle, but I'm just going to show you how it's done first. You just want to keep flattening this in a sense, you're making an even bigger diamond shape. Oops. So I have a problem there. The top. Just a minute. Oops. So this is what I did. I made this diamond. Now let me turn it toward you so that you can see what I did. I opened these two flaps that we had just made previously. Here's my mountain fold. This is my guide. I'm taking this piece of the paper, lifting it all the way up, keeping my thumbs back here on the mountain fold, and I'm folding this paper all the way to the top. Now what I'm going to do is there's a line in the middle, and you're going to fold the paper down. You might have to stick your fingers inside, get it nice and flat. You're making a bigger diamond. Now this is a tricky part. I've got stuck on this part for a long time when I learned how to do this. I learned how to make this back in 3rd grade. So it's been a while. So anyway, you got your diamond on both sides. Now, this is very important. One side is solid. The other side opens up. Kind of like a dancing guy. Like feet or legs or something. So you want that open part down toward you. Now remember how we folded in our creases in the beginning? We're going to do that again, but what we have here is, now that we've made this giant diamond, if you open this up, you have another flap. You're going to take this flap, fold it over, and put it right in the middle, using that middle line as a guide once again. And you're going to crease very, very tightly. This is important. This is going to be the underside of the wings of the crane. And as you can see, it's got a really cool little design there that it makes. Now we're doing the other side. Fold it all the way in, very nicely, very tight. So it should look like this. Remember, keep this at the bottom, this split part. Turn it over, and we're doing the same thing on the other side. Again, I will turn it this way just to show you, because it is more difficult if you did it away from you. It's quite the challenge to do it that way. There you go. And then other one right on the inside. Alright, so on both sides we have this design, and you have your split still. Again, here's another tricky part. Let me see if I can get this up a little more. Now what you're going to do is you're essentially going to bring one of the sides up and the other side up, and one's going to be the tail, one's going to be the head, and these are the wings. But as you really get the hang of doing this, it's the exciting part, because you've made a crane. So now you're going to stick your finger in here, and this is a very tricky fold. I cannot remember the name of this fold, but you're essentially turning the paper inside out, or turning the fold inside out. So you stick your finger in there, and there is a line here right there that you want to fold it up to, like this. And here's where the inside out part comes. You're folding this, see, and closing it. And then you just want to tuck it in there in behind the wings. And I'm sorry if that was really complicated. I'm not sure how else to explain it. But I'll try again. Open this up. Fold this straight up. And then you're going to do the inside out fold, crease it, and tuck it in between the wings. So now we have this shape. Now here's the fun part. You're going to open up and see wings. Now you can start shaping these wings whatever way you like, but that can come later. Now a lot of the times what happens when you make a crane, especially with foil paper, is you end up with one tip kind of crooked and funky. And you always want the tail to be nice and straight, because you're going to fold the head over anyway. So it's okay to have this crooked side be the head. Now the head is pretty simple, you just bend it, but as you bend it you notice the paper will fold in and you'll kind of do a pinch. And then you can just play with it and form the head as you would like. And then here's the tail right here. And like I said, you can just play with it. Play with the wings. Make them the way you want. Like with my little ones, I liked making the wings a little more curled. And there's another thing you could do, which is the bottom, there's a hole, and you can blow into it, which this isn't really working. I almost ripped it, but and that gets a little air into it if you want your crane to be a little fatter and have more body to it. But there you go. There's a paper crane. And you can make them huge ones, like I said, or little ones. Oops. And just have fun with it. It looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. But after you do it a few times, you really get the hang of it. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope that it helped you learn how to make an origami paper crane.